Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us on Sunshine Reports. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. The Ondo State Government has unveiled a 30-year development plan targeted at fast-tracking rapid growth of the state. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, while speaking with pressmen, said the project tagged Ondo 2054 was being proposed on 4 pillars: prosperous economy, human capital development, administration, environment and infrastructure. Joy Pius reports that the commissioner was flanked by Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Femi Agagu, the chairman, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, Tolu Adegwe, as well as top government officials.
Christened Ondo 2054, the 30-year development plan is designed in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programme, and it is aimed towards infrastructure and socio-economic development of all parts of the state, while intimating journalists in Ondo State on the core objective of the project. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, said the initiative will touch all sectors including education, agriculture, infrastructure, security, gold mining, health policies, and also provide an enabling business environment. Mr. Igbason noted that the long-term development agenda was in line with the provision of the Fiscal Responsibility Law 2017, aiming at providing accelerated growth in Ondo State for the next 30 years, adding that the 18 local government areas of the state would be involved to enable them come up with core areas of developmental need for economic prosperity of the people.
For anyone or nation to experience progress and development, there must be a clear, strategic, and sustainable trajectory which provides the compass that will guide and direct efforts and resources. The future we all desire depends on the visions we have, the strength of the foundations we lay, and the efforts we make today. It is therefore against this realization that the present administration, in compliance with the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act or Law of 2017, commenced the process of charting a clear path that will not only address our present-day challenges, but provide a highway for accelerated development for the next 30 years in Ondo State.
The commissioner called on residents of Ondo State to support the government in actualizing the plan.
We are naturally positioned to be the pride of Nigerian state and the elegant pride of Africa if we put our acts together. We therefore call on all and sundry to join hands with us as we collectively decide on the best way to harmonize our developmental strides, direct our focus, and concentrate efforts now and in the future to achieve our desire for a greater Ondo State.
Igbason revealed that the government would establish a steering committee with which residents and investors could liaise to actualize the project, noting that successive administrations are expected to key into the vision for a productive and prosperous Ondo State. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
In the meantime, Ondo State Government has inaugurated the technical committee for the crafting of a design for long-term development plan tagged Ondo 2054. Inaugurating the committee at the Cocoa Conference Hall in Akure, Acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa charged the committee to come up with recommendations that will bring infrastructure and human capital development to Ondo State for future generations to come. Government House correspondent Timileyin Falade reports.
The technical committee is set up ahead of Ondo State Development Plan project Ondo 2054, which aims at deepening prosperous economy and enhancing human capital development.
It's my pleasure to formally inaugurate the State Technical Committee on the crafting of Ondo State 30-year long-term development plan, TAG Ondo 2054.
Acting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, at the inauguration of the Technical Committee for Ondo State Development Plan, said it is in tandem with Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's redeemed agenda to engineer an inclusive and sustainable development plan for the state.
Our administration, on assumption of office, promptly enacted the State Fiscal Responsibility Law of 2017. Today's event, therefore, signposts our commitment to the implementation of the law. Among other key development plans, the long-term development plan will rest on 4 pillars and several thematic areas, including major cross-cutting issues. The 4 principal pillars of the plan are as follows: prosperous economy, human capital development, environment and infrastructure, and the 4th being administration.
Aiyedatiwa said the inauguration of the Technical Committee signposts government's commitment to implement the Fiscal Responsibility Law to make Ondo State a hub for investors devoid of any political inclination.
The Technical Committee, working in conjunction with the Sector Working Group, is saddled with the core responsibility of preparing the plan, while the Strategy and Key Performance Indicator Committee will develop the strategy for implementation and key performance indicators that will be used to track the outcomes of the plan and provide regular updates on the key deliverables.
While charging members of the committee to brace up and bring their experience to bear, Aiyedatiwa said the committee has 6 months to complete and deliver the development plan. Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, said the Ondo 2054 agenda became necessary considering the fact that the Ondo State population would be 12.7 million by 2024, which calls for future projection on infrastructure and human capital development.
Development do not happen. Like the Big Bang Theory, development must be planned and pursued. It is therefore against this backdrop that the present administration and the state intends to collectively craft the future we want through a development plan that will not only address the present day challenges, but also chart the trajectory of its growth for the next 30 years. By extant state fiscal responsibility law signed in 2017, the envisaged development plan will set the policy direction for its growth direction and the stage to onboarding key interest groups and partners that will complement the state government's efforts in its drive to optimally harness the developmental potentials of the state in order to catalyze socio-economic growth and overall development of the state.
The Technical Committee comprises permanent secretaries of ministries, directors, general managers, and consultants to drive the strategic plan to reality.
Away from that, commuters along Ondo-Ore Expressway have been left stranded as heavy-duty truck involved in a lone accident barricaded the road from both sides. As at the time of filing this report, travelers coming from the Ondo town axis as well as those from the Ore axis are currently stuck in the logjam arising from the fallen truck in Bagbe town along the expressway. Those who spoke with Osrc are calling for an urgent intervention from relevant government agencies to enable them continue their journey. In continuation of its clampdown against criminals in forest reserves, Ondo State Security Network Agency Amotekun Corps has apprehended 20 suspected kidnappers operating in border towns between Ondo and Edo State. The 20 individuals were among 29 suspects paraded at the Amotekun headquarters in Akure. Osrc Zaid Aribisala reports that the kidnapped victims also recount their experiences.
Forest reserves in border towns have been identified as notorious for being a safe haven for kidnappers, but the onslaught against criminals in Ondo State is not stopping yet. Evident from the latest success recorded by the Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun Corps. For parade are 29 suspected criminals arrested for various offences ranging from stealing, attempted robbery, illegal possession of firearms to vandalism. Ondo Amotekun Commander Adetunji Adeleye said 20 among the suspects were arrested for kidnapping, particularly operating in border towns around Ondo and Edo states.
The criminal activities, they reside in the forestry reserves along Aladada, Jubere, up to Ijagba, and we were able to comb all these areas. We got to a point where they crossed the river, they ran with the victim, but they were able to drop the victim, and it showed us where they kept them for some few days. This is to send a signal that even crossing the water will not deter Amotekun from fishing you out if you are a criminal. Crossing the hills, hiding behind the forests and in the government reserves will not deter Amotekun from fishing you out.
So we are inside the farm. We are walking.
Among the victims who had been kidnapped is a 23-year-old polytechnic student who spent 7 days in the kidnappers' den.
They carry me along. So they now carry me along and I started follow them. So they now cut a cassava stick. So then I started beating me on my bum, nose and hand. One of them I said that they should not beat me again. They should leave me. So they now take me along. I used 7 days.
A regent in one of the border communities in Akure North local government area, Princess Kemisola Adelowo, commended Amotekun Corps for rising to the occasion.
Bọ̀ àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn obìnrin kankan lọ́wọ́ mi wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ ọjọ́ kejì náà lọ síbẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ tán ti ṣe graduation tó ń bọ̀ láti school ní Benin torí ìlú mi wà ní boundary Edo and Ondo State Edo State and Ondo State ẹ mọ̀ bọ́n ṣe ń bọ̀ àwọn kan lọ́rọ̀ sí tún kún àwọn ọmọ yẹn ìkangan ẹsẹ̀ wọn sì rọ àlè mú yẹn dání so mo dúpẹ́ pé àjọ ààbò Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wọn bá mi gbà wọ́n inú mi dùn.
On the recent upsurge in crime, Adeleye, who is the special advisor to Ondo Governor, said the challenging economic situation is not a free ticket to nefarious activities. The Amotekun Corps enjoined residents to avail the agency credible information for prompt action. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Now talking sports, students from 7 states will battle for the Oluwarotimi Akeredolu Trophy and the Nigeria Secondary School Flag Football Season 2 National Tournament. Organized by the American Football Association of Nigeria, the week-long tournament, which will take place at Ondo State Sports Complex, Akure, is geared towards breeding talents to become professionals. Osrc Zaid Aribisala again has more.
Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, is a destination choice for the Nigeria Secondary School Flag Football Season 2 National Tournament. And this press conference by the organizer, American Football Association of Nigeria, NAFA, heralds the week-long competition, which features 8 teams from 7 states: Lagos, Ogun, Osun, Akwa Ibom, Kwara, Oyo, and the Federal Capital Territory. National President of the Association, Babajide Akeredolu, who was represented by the Secretary General, Lawrence Ojaide, said the association is committed to creating an environment for American football to thrive and make impact in the lives of youths.
Since inception, NAFA has seen remarkable growth with American football, rapidly gaining presence across Nigeria, and we are looking to increase the number of our activities around activities and participation, of course, around the country. having the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, we have been able to penetrate 3 geopolitical zones successfully, and we hope to see that we have the entire 6 geopolitical zone covered in the nearest future.
Secondary school students between the ages of 12 to 18 years in various teams will compete for the Akete Bowl Winners' Trophy from 31st July to August 5, 2023.
We have been able to ensure that we capture our youths through the flag, ensuring that by the time they get to tackle, as rough as the sport may be, it becomes a very safe sport to play. And that is why today you see that flag football is now a part of the school system.
Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development Bamidele Ologunloluwa said Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu remains committed to sports development.
Whatever that has to do with sport development in the state, we ordinarily accommodate it. Let us encourage our wards to be there. Our children are on holidays, so they have no excuse whatsoever not to be present. And we also need to encourage them to be there. Sport is a unifier.
The Vice President, Nigerian School Sports Federation, Emmanuel Ebong, highlighted the importance of merging education with sports as critical for a child's overall development.
We are very delightful to partner with NAFA in ensuring that we engage our youths, especially school children, meaningfully.
Among the successes recorded is that 10 players from Season 1 of the tournament made it to the Partner League for the National Football League, while 141 have gained scholarship outside Nigeria.
It is an opportunity for our children that are here, because I know they are secondary school children, to leverage on networking with your fellow friends from other states.
This is the first of its kind in Ondo State, and what we are having today is going to bring a lot of development, especially to our youths.
The American Football Association of Nigeria was established with a vision to provide a viable platform for Nigerian youths to utilize the sport for both personal and national development. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
And with that sports story, we conclude Sunshine Report. Thank you for your time. Good afternoon.